All right, good morning. 9:15 on the dot today. Let's get started. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I'll take that as a yes. I'm considering somebody said good morning in the chat. All right. Disclaimer. I like showing this just to make sure that people realize this is just for educational purposes. I will be sharing some things that worked yesterday. Those of you in the room saw the break and retest on Meta and Amazon. Again, educational purposes only. So what are we doing today? Not much going on. Obviously, there's stuff going on in the Middle East, but as far as things to know before the open, stock futures seem to be slipping after yesterday's rally, and China released some information saying their growth is slowing. As far as economic calendar, for myself, there's nothing of significance, and earnings after the market closed, we've got Costco. Which is often very indicative of the general economy. So what I'm going to be showing, what worked yesterday, the Meta break and retest above pre-market high and the previous day's high. Basically, the same trade on Amazon. I did not take it because of low R-vol, but then thinking about it yesterday, the reason my low R-vol rule is there is mainly for options trading. Because you want the move to happen pretty fast in options because of time decay, especially if you're trading weekly expiring options. So I'll revisit this, my RVOL rule. And then what didn't work, something I did not take it because I would not trade something above R6, especially not a short. But I will share how the double top formed, but why I avoided it. So let's get started with levels. I keep getting disconnected on here because I have it on two computers. And there we go. So 30-minute time frame, looking at Apple. Apple in this, especially when you zoom out, Apple is in a zone. It's chopping in this area here. We had a rectangle up here that I can take it and bring it down here. And, it's a very, keep anchoring. There we go. So in this zone of chop here between 260 and 266, very difficult to take a trade in here. As far as room to the left, if it goes below S3 here, there is room to the left. However, we are there just 2 days ago. I would consider this a range to be interested in because we do need to go back to this area here. When it's in what I try to share when we're talking about an edge is just something that will likely happen more than 50% of the time. Looking at this range here, part of an edge could be that if it touches the bottom here, it's probably more than 50% likely to bounce from this area. That's an edge, right? Not necessarily my edge, unless it shows strength at that area. But that's basically what an edge is what is it likely to do at a certain area? Same thing with when it hits the top over here. It's probably more than 50% likely to reject this top and then continue down. Not really trading advice, just what an edge is. Somebody was asking me last week what I consider to be an edge. Obviously, we can get a lot more complicated than that, but I will be looking at how Apple reacts at the low of day. How Apple reacts at the low of day. But then I'm more interested at the edge of the zone over here. AMD. Zoom out a bit. Let's go over here. It's a little bit too much zoomed out. There we go. So we had a nice move to the upside yesterday. Hit resistance. These two lines here. There we go. These two lines here are yesterday's high as well as pre-market high. Be interested in what happens at this area. As far as room to the left, lower, there's nothing, right? We're here yesterday, so I'm not interested in necessarily taking longs for now. It could be a breakout from yesterday and a retest. It's definitely at a level. Let's move this one down here. It's definitely at a level where it could bounce. Never say never. I might look at it here if there's really strong momentum and it's similar in the market, but it would not be necessarily my KT long. The kangaroo tail long. The reason I take that is because there's strong buying below a liquidity sweep. And over here, I don't see any liquidity over here. It could definitely be a breakout and then a retest of that breakout for a further move. So let's look at it once the market opens. 30-minute. Let's go over here. I'm going to put a level here on Amazon. There you go. So this was resistance. It was resistance. We blew past this yesterday. Eventually, I would assume that this line would become support. So if it retraces here over the next few days, few weeks, this could be a zone of liquidity below this line because there's a lot of lines, a lot of buyers above this area. Okay. So there we go. As far as where it is right now, I don't see room to the left below S3, and I don't see room to the left above unless we make new highs. And again, these two lines here, these two lines are both pre-market high as well as yesterday high. So I want to see what it does at these levels. To get to yesterday's low, we need to come all the way down here. So we are within this range here where I'm not super interested unless it's above. Meta. Meta's going sideways. Meta had a nice break and retest yesterday. As far as room to the left, I don't see anything higher. Lower, it could be a retest again of this level. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why it keeps disconnecting. If somebody's aware of a reason, please let me know. I know I have it connected on my laptop in another room. I should go close it over there maybe. So not necessarily interested in Meta right now. As far as Microsoft is concerned, I'm looking at where price is right now. Price is right here right now. Room to the left, we were just there yesterday. Room to the left above, there's nothing, so not really interested in Microsoft. NVIDIA, room to the left above yesterday's high here would be interesting. And then below, there's no room to the left considering we were just there yesterday. If it were to come down here, the 180.38 area, S4, I might be looking at if it's showing actual support at this level. I'm going to put a horizontal line there. You can see that it touched over here and then was resistance here. It chopped around here. Then it showed support here. And we printed a strong 30-minute candle, but it didn't break out of the area. So right now, it just seems like it's chopping within this area. Tesla. Tesla again yesterday, we were just in this area, so not a lot of room to the left. Some people might say there's a lot of room to the left because there's all this time, but it was just there yesterday. Yesterday morning, yesterday at the open. So it's not my ideal setup and higher unless it gets above yesterday's high. I'm not really interested. Hughes seems to be chopping in a zone. No room to the left below. No room to the left unless we get above yesterday's high, right above here. Yeah, right here. And then yesterday aftermarket, we punched up a little bit. Not really interested in the Qs. SPY is very similar or in a similar zone. Right. As far as room to the left, we're just there yesterday. This right here could be an interesting area. We chopped around here and then came and retested this level right at the open yesterday and then went up with not a lot of strength. Actually, SPY was a trade that I did take. I forgot to say that. And it worked, but you had to wait quite a while. So at this level, it might be interesting. But again, not a lot of room to the left. There would be a lot of stops below 679. So if it was a sweep, if it was quick, when it's quick, usually you can tell that it's a stop hunt. It might be prime for a reversal or continuation long. Not a lot I'm interested in. However, with my charts, the way that they are set up here, I'm going to be looking at the 5 minutes and I'm going to be looking for patterns in these areas. 4 minutes, 3.5 minutes before the market opens, I wanted to see if there's questions, first of all. I know some of you guys are talking, and you guys don't hesitate. If you guys have if you guys are talking amongst yourselves, that's fine too. Obviously, I'm just setting up my my levels for the trading session. But once we get started, please don't hesitate. Hey, Evil, thanks for sharing your camera. I see you there.
Good morning, Gilles. Good morning.
How are you?
Oh, fine, thank you. Just getting into the saddle.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, just I don't know. Kind of looking at the usual suspects, although I do have a few other tickers that I might look at today. TTD is one, along with I think AMPX and UAMY. These are tickers I normally don't trade. I've traded UAMY in the past.
Are they
yeah.
are they cheaper stocks? Like they're not. I know they're not. I don't think they're penny stocks. I don't think you trade penny stocks.
Yeah, no. TTD
like
is
$20.
Yeah, TTD is right around 31.60 currently, but Ampex, yeah, around 13.5, UMAY around 10. So it's still within my zone of tradability. I don't trade usually anything under $10.
Yeah, I had that rule too. Actually, it was $20, but that's changed since I've just narrowed things down to my Mag 7, Mag 8, if you include AMD, and then Qs and SPY. I just noticed I hadn't realized the market is mainly red. Like all my 10 tickers here are under PDC. So the only thing here is Oxy. Oil is the only green on my list here. So seeing some weakness, seeing a pullback, profit taking from the run up over the last 2 days. Right, Qs came from 591 to 613 area, so we might just be taking profit. People have orders down in this area. If we were to come down, excuse me, to the low of yesterday here, I might be interested in obviously looking at it, seeing what the market does at these levels. But within yesterday's high And yesterday's low, it's generally choppy. So there you go. Market's open. Good luck to those of you who trade the open. Let's see what happens in the first few minutes, and then I'll share what worked yesterday with Meta and Amazon. I did not take them, full disclosure. I did take a SPY later on in the day, and that one worked. The break and retest of SPY yesterday. Don't remember exactly what time it was, but this one I did take. And it took a long time to get to target, just because my stop was a little bit further, but it did. So I'm not planning on taking anything in the first 5 minutes, of course. So I will share what worked and what didn't work. So first of all was Meta. We were talking about this trade here. So let's go back to the 5 minute. Let's replay it. And there you go. So that's what it looked like in the first 5 minutes yesterday. This was pre-market high and yesterday high. It broke out with a lot of momentum. That's what I like to see for the break and retest. It came down to that level here. Once it came down to this level, that's where I personally like to switch to the 1 minute. And we can tell that it hit this level. This candle here can be scary, especially on the 5 minute, but on the 1 minute, it's not too much to worry about. And then let's go candle by candle. You touch the bottom again, and I want to see a strong, this is not where the entry was. I want to see a strong bullish candle at that level, preferably with a fair value gap. So at this level right here, this is the 1 minute. You can tell that this candle right here, let's make it a little bit bigger. And then let's move this out of the way. This candle here is a bullish candle. It's breaking the highs of the 3 previous candles or 4 previous candles. That, to me, is an entry if the following candle breaks that high. So let's go to the following candle. It did break the high. I'd be looking at the book here to see if it's breaking with momentum. And if it's not, I probably would not go in. There you go. That's the one that I would I would hope that that's the one I would take. Stop below the previous low. If you want to be more conservative, stop can be below these lows over here. And the RVR at 3. There we go. And then we just see how it plays out. On options, that would have been a difficult trade because when it starts going sideways like this, you've got time decay. However, on options, this would have been a 3R trade very, very quickly. By here, it would have been in the 3, 5, 6R for sure. So that one worked. If the stop was more aggressive underneath the low of this large wick candle, 3R would have been right around here. So that worked fairly quickly, right? This is a 1 minute time frame. Let's move it to the 5 just to see. There you go. That is one very small box rectangle here to show how long it took to get to that level. I won't go through the entire thing for Amazon, but it was the same trade on Amazon. right? It was right here. Let's go to the 5. Let me zoom in here. There you go. So the breakout, there was the breakout right here. The retest was here. And then the entry in 3R was pretty much in the first, in that candle. So it happened very quickly. I did not take this because of low RVol, but like I mentioned earlier, my RVol rule is mainly for options. I like things happening quickly. And I'm going to revisit when I do take equity trades, whether I want to keep that high RVol rule. Right now, we've got 78% on SPY. Above 70 is decent. Above 80 is, for me, is ideal. And everything pretty much is above 80. So there you go. Oh, and I said I took the SPY trade yesterday. I don't know if I put the tool here. Yes, I did right here. So let's go to the 5-minute. Let's zoom in here just to share what it is that I saw here. There was a level here, which was pre-market high. Once it broke out of the high of day here, it came and retested and put in what I like to call a trendy kangaroo when the tail is 2/3 of the candle, closes near the top. This was the trade I took here. However, the drawing is not ideal because I had to be in it way longer than this. So I just left it actually and closed it near the end of the day. So right around here, and it wasn't quite at 3R. But just on this move right here, it works. The break and retest worked very well. So there you go. Break and retest is one of my favorites. Works often, does not work all the time. That's why I have specific rules on when I take it. And I don't have to take it every day. Amazon breaking up above PDC, above yesterday's high, above pre-market high. This is very interesting for the possible retest, right? I'd love for it to come down here, retest this level, and then show a lot of buying because a lot of people were skipped over here. And that's basically what happens. Right? With this very large candle here, price was pushed up, price was going up, and there are buyers that are willing to pay 217, 217.20 around this area, but they're not willing to pay this much. So we know that there are missed buyers over here. So the thinking is market is going to be retesting this area. However, now it's gone up almost $3 from this area. So it's quite the move. Let's zoom out and see what we have to the left. Wow, market has not been here in a while. Okay, so this right here, let's put a line. There you go. I don't like that it's red. I usually like to use blue. Whoops. Okay. Config background. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Back to 5. So that could be an area of resistance. So that's why I put that line there on the higher time frame. And on as far as cam levels are concerned for Amazon, let's see where they are. So that line is at 220.47. Yeah, that's R4. So this is an R4 here. It comes back down to 217 area. I want to be alerted. So I'm going to put an alert here. Below 218, just below 218 over here. So if it comes back down here, I'd be interested to look at it. If it put in a KT here and the kangaroo tail, it would have to be a liquidity sweep. So it would have to be very quick and an obvious rejection. It might be a short back down to this level. You don't need it to go down to yesterday's low. Right? It is possible to get 3R just from this area, the rejection of this area.
Speaking of rejection of areas, Gilles, Palantir is dancing around yesterday's high right now.
PLPR, thank you for sharing. All right, around this area, very interesting area. Right, that's where I like to look at it. Right, it's already above, and let's look at a 5-minute. It's above yesterday's high and pre-market high, but possibly struggling. The fact that it's under R3, which is often a selling zone, is also interesting. What I don't like as far as the short is that it's very close to previous day close, which I should also have on my chart here. But previous day close is pretty much at the central pivot range here. All right, so yeah, absolutely interesting area on PLTR. Just higher time frame, yeah, making new highs. Tons of room to the left, but it has had that room to the left for a while. As far as a 30-minute, we've got a fair value gap here from the beginning of February, right, when it was in this zone, and then it just dropped. So we know that there are a lot of stops in this range right here. Right. No, right there. So that could be an interesting zone of rejection. And get rid of some of these lines here. So how it reacts here will be interesting.
Yeah, I'm throwing a Fibonacci from the opening of our session to the high there, and just seeing what kind of retracement we get, how far back it pulls. Right now we're in the 61.8 range. Let's see what the volume is like too.
So you started the fib at, sorry, let me just move it here. So right at the open?
Yeah, at the very low of the open. And pardon me, I'm using the leverage product, so I look at PTIR, but the same. If you take the opening, and I look at a 5-minute chart, so if you take the low of the 5-minute open and then tag it to the high of the second 5-minute candle.
Yeah.
And then my most interested areas are the 50% pullback and 61.8%.
Yeah.
If the stock is very strong, it may not pull back anything further than what do you call that? The like the
23
or 38.
Yeah, so it pulled back all the way down to 23 here. Right, on mine anyway. I know you're looking at the leverage product, but on PLTR, if I put the fibs at the same areas as you did, which I think I did, I started it from the low of the first 5-minute and then the high of the second 5-minute. and then it pulled back to 23.
Mine's the opposite of yours.
Hang on,
Sort of the fibs are flipped. I guess I have them flipped in a different manner, but
what's the ticker you're looking at?
PTIR.
PTIR.
Yeah.
Volunteer granite 2 times. Oh, candles are bigger, and it's a cheaper stock. So, so going from here to right there. Okay, now it did it properly. I might have printed it. I don't know what happened there, but
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that's kind of in alignment with how I draw mine. I think
Yeah.
I'm drawing it correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, that is. I usually use this tool for my measured moves. Actually, let's get it out of here. This.
The thing about like Palantir, the third 5-minute candle on PTIR has literally the same volume as the green candle preceding it, which that leads me to believe that that's definitely a very strong wall. I like to see a little bit less on that third red candle, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, and I prefer to take ABC setups under VWAP, but if it's over VWAP, I definitely want to see a better volume profile for me. Looks like the SPY is testing its opening low.
Yeah.
Somewhat. Q's didn't pull back as deep as the SPY. Would you agree?
I would agree. There is more buying in the Qs than there were in the SPY. Just by looking at the size of the candle, it seems like it's a bit of a larger range, very similar. I had this long-term 684 area on SPY. We've chopped around there for a while. We're staying below PDC, so very interesting here. Tesla just at PDC. Microsoft has gone up above. We've got a little bit more green in the markets right now.
AMDL had a terrific ABC setup on the 5-minute. I didn't notice that. I was looking at Palantir, but yeah, it's going to break out.
Yeah.
Boom. It had perfect setup. You know, it had that initial pop, the following 2 red candles, declining volume, close above VWAP. Although it had a lower low on the third 5-minute candle, but still the volume profile was good enough for me. That would have been a really nice entry for a long.
Yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, because of where it is right now, above yesterday's high, above PDC, above pre-market high, I want to see, do we have a strong candle here? And then in a while, does it pull back? Does it come back and retest this area? That's something I'm going to be looking at as far as this. I want to see if there's 2 things that I would look at here. I want to see AMD still in the central pivot range. There is a lot of room to the left as far as above here. So it can reject here as it did yesterday. After the market closed yesterday, the high of that candle was 202.94. So there was resistance at 202.94. 202.87 was the high of this candle here. So I would be interested in a long or short, depending on what happens here. Look at this level here. 220.47, and that's where I had that line. Right, just touched it. Now, will it come and retest this area? That's what I'm looking for. I've got an alert set already. AMD, being patient with it. Seen some selling in Apple.
Looks like Tesla is inching to maybe break out, and Palantir as well. Let's see.
A little bit of a breakdown and retest on Apple.
Yeah, I like that volume profile on AMD. The last 5-minute candle that completed. I think it definitely has legs. I use a sequence counter, and on the 15-minute chart, we're in the formation of a second sequence. I mean, we still got another 9 minutes to go, but from my vantage point, it definitely looks bullish so far.
Yeah, so we've broken up above. We've punched up above yesterday's aftermarket wicks right here. Let's zoom into this. Right, so 202.98, 202.98 was the high aftermarket yesterday.
Below alert.
So there's my Amazon. Right, this is where I wanted to start looking at it. If it made its way, I put my alert above 218. I want to know if it goes below 218. Amazon, I'm going to bring the options contract on my screen. So that was a strong breakout. If it came and kissed the PDC here, I'd be very curious to start looking at it for the continuation long. Q is right at PDC. SPY still quite a ways below it.
NVIDIA looks a little choppy.
AMD is forming an interesting, could be an interesting candle. $379. I don't know what's going on in the futures market.
Futures market is quite interesting today.
There you go. Good morning, Terry, or good afternoon, evening, wherever you are.
It's been a really good day for me today.
Good.
I'm gold. Yeah.
What did you
big
trade?
Gold, the MNQ futures.
Gold or MNQ?
MNQ,
MNQ.
MGT, sorry. What gold future has been really good to the short side. I've been watching since yesterday the break of the 150, 5,150 level. It broke in today. I got in a little bit earlier, around the 51.73. I took it all the way down, so that was a good trade even before the market starts. And it seems like we're just consolidating and we'll take another leg down. Crude oil futures are really interesting too. They're pushing hard. This area, we haven't been there for quite a long time. So if it starts running with the tensions in the Middle East, that could go like really higher. And I was looking at the MNQ, I feel so bad. There was a 5-minute reversal pattern and I just didn't take it, but it's okay. We can't win them all. On the 5-minute, it plays the 3-bar play, and this is an area of support towards the 25,000. It couldn't break it in the pre-market, so.
The 25,000, is that what you mean, right? I don't know if you see my screen here, but at 25,000?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, broke
There's
strong.
Long to the high of yesterday, 25,200 or something.
Yeah, 250 or
Yeah.
aftermarket. Well, after, I mean, we say aftermarket, but the futures are open pretty much all day.
Hughes breaking out. SPY looks like it
Yeah.
is attempting, but
Yeah, so I have an alert here set on Qs. It gets above these levels here. Possible continuation or rejection. For SPY, needs to go quite a ways still. AMD. I don't know if
looks stuck.
It does. I don't like the, somebody might ask, why is this not a break and retest? Well, it broke out of that level and just wicked. Broke out of that level and wicked again. Right? There's not a lot of strong buying here. So I don't trust these candles for the long. There's definitely some sellers over here. And we maintain that this was an area of possible rejection yesterday. Let's put a level there. Right, aftermarket yesterday. I know that's on low volume, but we're still at yesterday's high here. Yeah, there it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like that last green 5-minute candle formation. Sort of a little bit of a shooting star with higher volume than the candle preceding it. So, yeah.
I was looking at the short on this. I set an alert above this candle here. I wanted to see if we could just punch up above. If it makes new lows right now, then what's the low here? 201.60. Let's look at the book. A lot of orders right at 201.60. So if this breaks down with momentum, it could easily retrace to the low of day. Again, not my preferred setup for a short. I will put cues on my screen though.
Above alert.
There's my alert on cues. Just approaching pre-market high and yesterday high. Cues is just in the central pivot range. As far as cams are concerned, there is room to the left above 613.50. Oops. 613.45. 613.45. I set another alert here.
Have you got into any trades yet, Gilles?
Myself, no. No, not yet. Nothing's setting up for my ideal entry. Microsoft approaching yesterday's high. Very interesting. 2 long tail wick candles here. It could break up above here. But if we're having this much trouble getting up above, and then how did it react there yesterday? Got there and then pulled back. Right, so this is definitely an interesting level. Want to see how it reacts there. Same thing with Qs. There's the punch up on Microsoft. Qs, could you not take out liquidity above here? $76. So the first half hour has gone by. This is where I start looking at things a little bit more seriously. I look at things seriously in the first half hour, but I just I often sit out the first half hour. This is very close to being my pattern on cues for the rejection. I just don't like that it didn't take out the liquidity up above here. For the short, I mean, and I don't like that it's right at PDC. Somebody was saying to me the other day that I say that I don't like often, and it's what's made a big difference in my trading is just being choosy, being picky, and waiting for my setup. I used to overtrade, and once I cut that out, made a huge difference. So over here, I was hoping to see a liquidity sweep above the 13 here, 213, 213.50. Could still happen. And if it's not a sweep, it could be a breakout of this area. So I'm just going to wait to see what the chart tells me. I won't be there tomorrow, by the way. I'll post something in the, and I won't be here to be able to post something tomorrow. So,
Yeah, I don't like the volume profile of the cues. You know, the volume sort of decreased as we were pushing through, and then this rejection at the top, we have an increase in volume. So
yeah, there's a lot of sellers here. Yeah.
I mean, I'm always looking at leverage products, but I'm assuming it's probably the same. I look at TQQQ,
Yeah.
and for the SPY, I look at SPYU. They're leverage products, so
Yeah, I've traded them before. They no, they're great. They're obviously, like you said, a 3% move, sorry, a 1% move in Qs will be a 3% move or very close to it in TQQQ. For those that can't short, you can buy SQQQ. Some of my students are younger, and you need to be 21 in Canada to be able to short, to have a margin account. So if you're wanting to short the Qs, you can buy SQQQ. So it's reversed. It's also leveraged. So it basically trades the reverse of what the Qs are doing. So you can, when it's going down, like what the Qs are doing right now, you can buy. It can be very confusing though, for me, because I'm used to shorting something that is going down. But this is also an interesting product.
I hope someone took the gold we were talking about. It just broke down now big.
Yeah, don't know. And then that's the thing with tensions the way that they are right now, makes trading very volatile. I mean, anything can happen at any time. And we don't know what happens, and could absolutely affect the markets. So I always have a stop as soon as I get in. I often put in a range order, but as soon as I get in, I'll put a stop, especially on options, and it's a market order. I want to be able to get out if anything happens. it's a good rule to have at all times, but especially right now when there's so much global tensions going on. Everybody know I will not be able to be present for the New York Focus session tomorrow.
I'm glad to be here. This is my first day trading and getting a P&L above $1,000
Nice.
life account. Yeah, that's a big milestone for me.
Yeah, good.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Gilles, for your guidance, and Avi.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Great news to
Oliver and
share.
Ollie. Thank you, guys.
Woo-hoo.
Congrats, man. I'll send you my PayPal if you want to donate to the fund.
Nice work.
That's great.
Just like the expression that I love when it comes to trading. It's very simple, but it's not easy. Very simple to put on a trade. You know, buy here, sell it there. But it's incredibly unforgiving. So when you hit a milestone, that's awesome. Awesome to celebrate that. AMD setting up for another one of my favorite I don't like calling them setups, strategies, I guess. And
You had mentioned
sorry, go ahead.
Oxy earlier. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. Yeah, it's in yeah, it's very short term. Yeah, I take it back. I was going to say it's setting up for one of my favorite strategies, but it's been going sideways in this area. So I was going to say it's starting to look like a double top, but for my double top, it needs to come from lower. And it was, yes, at 197 it has. I just don't like that it consolidated here for a while before actually breaking up. So I don't know. What were you saying? Sorry.
I just had a quick look at Oxy, and that's looking pretty chop fest to me, but I'm also looking at AMD as well. I think you were just talking about that, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
AMD,
no,
what are you looking for?
no, I see what you were saying, looking for a double top formation, but it looks strong still to me because these fib levels are holding. I marked the low of the session to the very high of the session, and currently we're holding over 38 and 23%. So
Yeah,
and it looks like the volume is building right now. This last 5-minute candle, we'll see,
yeah.
but
And
it is slower moving.
as far as the 1 minute candles, right? It's making new highs, right? So, right, we're making higher lows, right? We're supporting here. Definitely at an interesting level. So anything can happen. Amazon is coming back to the level of interest. Yeah, these choppy markets have been incredibly difficult to trade. A lot of people are getting chopped up in this. And oftentimes, sitting out or being patient is the best move. I haven't touched options barely because you just get destroyed on time decay on these slow moving ranges.
So Gilles, you find that if you wait at least 30 minutes, you get maybe a pretty decent idea where the market is heading to kind of help guide you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically it. It's the waiting 30 minutes also is just for RVR as well. I mean, if you look at the first 5-minute candle on Qs from 607 to 610, if you want to go in long here, you need to have a $3 stop, which means you need a $9 move, right? For 3 to 1. However, if you look at, something like AMD right now, if you were to, let's say, short, and the high is at 203.79, then over here you're looking at, a dollar stop, right, as compared to the first candle here. So that's another reason, is just because you get smaller candles. You get to see where the market is possibly going. Right now, it looks like it wanted to go higher, but it hit resistance at yesterday's high as far as Qs are concerned, as far as Microsoft is concerned, as far as Tesla, right? So we're not punching up. We're still within that range. So, yeah, I don't like getting chopped up in the first half hour. So I take my time. Oftentimes it takes the hour. I wait for 10:30. I wait for the initial balance to be put in. And if we're still within pre-market high and pre-market low, I'm hesitant.
So you want to see a break of that structure, and that just takes a longer period of time, at least a couple of hours.
Sometimes it happens in, like yesterday on Meta, right? Yesterday on Meta, it happened. It broke structure, broke out within the first 20 minutes, I think, and then gave a nice break and retest possibility with decent RVR. Where was it? I don't think I took away the entry here was at 950 yesterday. Right, and target was hit at 10, so in 10 minutes. right? So it's not always, it's not like a written rule that I don't touch anything. It turns out that way, that for my style and my patients, often it takes the first half hour, sometimes the first hour. I used to trade, 5 minutes before the open. If it was at, R3 and it was selling, I'd short and then get stopped out right away because of these massive candles. So it took me a long time, but I realized that, and it helped that Avi saying there's so many opportunities. There's stuff that happens all day long. And I'm here anyway. I'm working at my computer. After 10:30, I work on other projects. I have this screen in the corner of my eye. I have alerts set. And if something is interesting, I'll look at it. But in between those levels, I don't look at it. So it's what's worked for me.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I work remotely from home, and I can leave my montage up on my left monitor, and then my main monitor, I can switch it over to work, but I can have it up there with my alerts. And
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I do. Yeah, I just want to show my this is my strategy, one of my strategies on cues. However, I'll show why I didn't take it. This is this candle here on the 5 minute. If the wick had just been a tiny bit longer, then this would have been a short for me. Right? But I needed to take out. Let's draw over here. I needed to take out that liquidity. Stop anchoring. I don't know why this anchor keeps showing up. So yeah, if this had taken out the liquidity up above here, it, as far as my back testing, forward testing, it often works in my favor. That's my kangaroo tail short. I could have taken it here, but I don't like that it did not take out the stops that are above here. It did, the high of this candle, 612.71 and 612.76. So it went 5 cents above the pre-market high here. So that might have been enough. I mean, the stops that are here, because it was at 7:15 yesterday, probably 20 shares transacted there. So might not have been worth it to go get it there. But psychologically, I like seeing the wick take out liquidity above the highs and then reverse. And then it's a short. Let's just put it in here. There you go. Stop right there. 3R is right there. So I did not take it because it did not meet my criteria. However, it just goes to show you that 3R, and by the way, it's just getting hit right now. So 3R is at 608.76, 4 cents. There you go. So 3R is just hit. This trade would have worked. Do I need to revisit my rule? Maybe, especially the fact of what I just said while I'm sharing with you guys rings true. This is very, very low volume. I mean, let's just see what the volume was on this. This right here, will I be able to see what the volume is? It's very, very low. So was it worth it for the algos and the market makers to go get the stops above here? Maybe not. But this is the strategy here. And just to show you what I was looking at on options, the entry was right here at 180. We're at 450 right now. So what? Close to 300%. That's why I'm patient. That's why I wait for my setup. Had I taken this, I would have taken it. Had it wicked up and started selling off here, I would have taken it on options and it would have been up a couple of 100%. So there you go. That's my strategy. One of them, but this is by far my best strategy. Right? Similar thing happened in SPY. Rejected the buying up here and boom. Right on SPY at 685. 685. That might not have been the exact right contract there because I had it on the screen earlier. But at no, it was the right contract. So the puts on SPY. Right, you like using leverage products. Well, options are an amazing leverage product. There you go. There's the trade on SPY. Right? That was the top of the wick. So around 150, 160, went up to 460. So a $3 move on options is massive. There you go. So Amazon no longer interested in the break and retest. Right? It's reversing. It's not retesting. It's not showing strength here. So this, it's pulling back too much. I mean, we might find buyers at the opening price here, but as far as a break and retest, it's pulled back too much. Had it dipped into here and then showed strength here above 218, then it might have been an interesting pattern for me. Anyway, hope that helps.
I'm going to check out for some food, so but I'll probably check later or check in later. I think there's a presentation too, right? In
Yeah,
a little
there's something. Don't remember exactly what it's called. I can't be here. I'm leaving for the weekend in about a half hour. So let me just go over here and announce it. Open Amal giving much anticipated webinar at 11 a.m. And Avi was saying that somebody is recording that. So there is a webinar in here at 11 a.m. I am also checking out because it's close to 10:30. And like I said, I'm going to be gone until Monday. So I'll take this opportunity to say have a great weekend, everyone. And it was great to be in here with you guys. And we'll see what happens. That's it for me for the week. Kind of regret not taking this, right? When you think about it, it was just a tiny bit. If it had just wicked up there, then this would have been a really nice short. But anyway, there'll be more opportunities next week. All right.
Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah. Cheers. Same to you guys. Have a great weekend.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Okay. See you, Oliver. Take care, Tarek.